So this poi move is really well known. It's called a Mercedes, and it has two components. So both hands are doing two completely different things. Your right hand is doing what's called a triquetra, which is a 3-petal anti-spin flower. What that means is that the poi and the hand are both spinning in opposite directions. Your right hand is spinning in this direction, but the poi are spinning in the opposite direction. So when you put that together, you end up with this. A way to do this is to have your poi spinning here, bring it up to your head, and let it fall and bring your arm to the other side. Then just pull your hand over. So bring it up, let it fall, and bring your hand over. And then when you have it on this side, you can just spin it around and bring your hand over. So and for every one rotation of your hand, of your arm, the poi rotates twice. This is the harder component of the move. So I would suggest just practicing with one hand until you can get this quite easily. Then the other component is a lot easier, and it's just called an extension, where your hand and the poi are moving in the same direction, and then you're just spinning the poi in big circles. Now if we put that together, you see this. If you watch my left hand only, all my left hand is doing is a big circle, and if you watch my right hand, you can see that it's doing the 3-petal anti-spin flower called the triquetra. Now, when you're on this side of your body, when you're spinning here, you want this hand in front of this hand. So, you're spinning like this. Then, when you bring it over, you bring this poi, as you're spinning it up here, you bring it in front of this poi. So, like that. So that it's in front. So, you come around, you bring it around, and you bring it over. So, on the other side of the body, you want this poi in front of this poi. So, if you whichever side of the body you're on, that hand is at the back. So, on the middle point here, you cross over. So, you go from having this poi here, and this poi here, and you cross over like that. So, if I bring it down, like that, and now it's on the other side. And again, I go up, and it crosses. So crosses, crosses again, crosses again. Those are the parts of the move that you have to focus on, and trying to keep your hands as close together as possible. And then when you finished it, you get this. So this move has two components. The first component has to do with just the left hand, and all it is a pendulum. To make the move look better, you want to try and keep this pendulum as close to your shoulder as possible, with your hand holding it, the poi at your shoulder and not moving, just making the pendulum. This is because if you want to make the poi look like it's following your hand, which makes the move look good, if the poi is coming from your shoulder, your arm can move exactly with the poi. Then, the second component is called a cap, which is this movement. So you bring the poi around and then down. It's spinning in the same direction, so this bottom part is called an anti-spin pedal, and the other part is called an extension. So you do half a circle here, this part here, and here you bring it down and drop your poi down to your foot, basically, in the middle of your body. So, that's all it is, and if you put it together, for me, I prefer having my hand in front of the poi head, my right hand in front of the penduluming poi head, but if you prefer it, you can go behind. And now part of this move, the only part that you need to worry about, once you have the pendulum and the cap, is just cleaning it up so that you can do it with the correct timing, so that your pendulum, your hand is following the poi exactly, and your pendulums are not just doing this. You want them to be going up to the side fully each time. So if I do this with one hand, with my right hand, I do one circle and two pendulums. So circle, pendulum, pendulum, back into the circle. Pendulum, pendulum, back into the circle. If I do my left hand, same thing. Circle, pendulum, pendulum, into the circle. Pendulum, pendulum, into the circle. But the hands are spinning in the opposite direction. So this one's doing this one's doing this, but just one circle. Now if we want to put them together, you can start by making very big circles and don't worry about the actual pendulum. So a big circle and a big circle going outwards, and a big circle and a big circle. And you keep doing this. Just try and keep the timing as I'm doing it. Don't worry about the penduluming or what's happening over here. Just make the circles. And when this hand goes out, the poi doing the big circle goes underneath the other arm, so that the other arm can come up. So my left arm is going underneath. Now my right arm is going underneath as it comes out the circle. Then, as you're doing this, if you get comfortable with the timing, you can try and make the pendulums. So now make sure that the poi is coming up to horizontal. And as you get more comfortable with this move, you can make the circle smaller and smaller, making sure that the poi are still doing their pendulums. And you can go smaller and smaller until your hands are actually together. Now you can still see the poi doing the circle goes underneath the other hand, so that the other poi can make a circle. And that's it. Thank you.